Mad Dog basically said that six-time world champion Bob Cousy was a better point guard than CP3, which caused JJ Redick to just go off. Redick would fire back saying that Bob Cousy was, quote, being guarded by plumbers and firemen, basically belittling Bob Cousy's era of athleticism, or lack thereof, I should say. And after that, almost a month after that, I should say, Bob Cousy has officially responded with the following, quote, people with less talent will always try to make a name for themselves by criticizing other people and hopefully getting some attention and perhaps increasing their credibility. Cousy would go on to say, so when you respond to something like this, you play right into their hands. I won't do that, but I will defend the firemen and plumbers that he referenced. And I'll give you just a few of these names of these firemen that I played with and against over the years. How about Bill Russell, the aforementioned not too bad player? Wilt Chamberlain, remember that guy? He wasn't bad. I guess he must have fought fires as well. But in any event, Wilt Chamberlain. Cousy would also say, man, these must be we must have had some hell of a fireman back in the day. And look, here's the thing about these comments. I think there is a gray area of where we can stand, right? Was Bob Cousy justified in these comments? Absolutely. I really do think so. Because I actually disagree with JJ Redick's comments initially, specifically about the era that they played in, right? Now, if you want to say that the athleticism was nowhere near the level of athleticism we have today, you're absolutely right. In that respect, JJ Redick is spot on. Because the athleticism overall was not as good. You could argue that talent overall was not as good. But to compare them as playing against plumbers and firemen, that is cap. And even JJ Redick knows that. That's hyperbole to the highest degree. I understand why he said it. He was trying to make that hyperbolic point. He was trying to very emphatically push back against what Mad Dog Russo was saying, which, by the way, Mad Dog Russo was saying some snowflake stuff on that show. Like, what he said about Draymond Green on that same show, absolutely stupid. Like, come on. Yeah, JJ Redick was right on that part, too. It was some BS you would hear from Fox News. Anyway, but that doesn't take away from Bob Cousy's point here of there were absolutely athletic players back in the day, and there were some all-time greats back in the day. By the way, Bob Cousy was one of those all-time greats. There's a reason he's in the Naismith Hall of Fame. There's a reason he's in the College Basketball Hall of Fame. There's a reason that Bob Cousy has 6 world championships. Yeah, are they in part to Bill Russell? Sure, but he also played an integral part on those teams. And I do think that JJ Redick was dismissive of that. I really do think that JJ Redick probably should have picked better words. Because when you say something like that about an all-time great, and I'm not saying he's better or worse than like LeBron or whatever. No, there's no comparison. Like, is he top 75 all time? He made the list, so I guess he is. Sure. But that doesn't mean that you get to disrespect every single person from that era just blanketly. I think that takes away from what they contributed to the game, and I think that's what that takes away from what players are doing now, honestly. Because you belittle the history of the sport, and I don't like that. I personally don't like that, and I don't agree with the fact that he was being guarded by plumbers and firemen. It's not true. He was being guarded by basketball players. He was being guarded by what basketball players were back then. Now, if you go back to the NFL in the 1950s, yeah, plumbers and firemen. But basketball was different. Basketball was completely different. And I would really think that JJ Redick would know the difference. I really hope he would. And I hope he doesn't actually believe that about all the players back then. I really don't. Because come on, JJ Redick. Fat Al. Thank you, Cincy. Fat Al. I agree. Hey, everyone. We hope you liked this video. If you did, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever a new video is released. Until next time, keep it real.